Right. Everybody hear me?
Yeah!
No. Fun? It's as hard enough as it is. Right, first of all, I'd like to thank all of you for coming and sharing in this very special day in the celebration of the marriage of Niall and Tina. I'll keep this short as it's just a warm up for the best man.
Oh. Men. Best men.
When Tina was born a little under 24 years ago, and I held her in my arms for the first time, she changed my life forever. She has grown to be a beautiful, loving and caring young lady of whom I dearly love and am very proud. Her strong family values and devotion to the guides all these years is commendable. She was a massive Spice Girls fan in her younger days, and her brother Kyle was really impressed when we dragged him along to see the Spice Girls film. She is a very trusting soul, and this can sometimes be a little gullible. When she was a little girl, she described my colour blindness as, "My daddy's blind when he looks at colours." At her first proper football game, Notts County if I recall, she asked why she couldn't hear the commentary. This trait continued as she grew, and whilst watching the Winter Olympics a few years back to her grandparents, she asked, "How do the British team train for skiing events when we have no snow and ice all the time?" Grandpa Bramley told her that they froze home Pierpont so that they could train them. Tina explained this to a teacher at school to much amusement. She also believed that Grandpa Bramley was a member of the Lincolnshire Mountain Rescue Team. Anyway, moving on. Janice sends her love and she's sorry she can't be here today. And finally, there are three more people I'd like to thank. Stuart, you've been a major part of Tina's life, and I want to thank you for all that you've done over the years. Not just for Tina, but for Donna and Kyle as well. Donna? Donna, the gift that you gave me when Tina was born can never be repaid, and you have been a constant figure in her life, and I know you are very proud today. Niall. What can I say about Niall? Many things, but that honour belongs to the best men. As a father, you never think there will be anybody good enough for your little girl. When Niall came along, I thought he was, well, he's an arse. No, but Tina loves him. He has a special quality about him, and we've all taken to him. So much so that he's the only person I know to call my mother a senile old bat. He's get away with it. Welcome to the family, son. And can I ask you now to join me in a toast to the bride and groom?
Bride and groom.
That's enough for me babbling. I thank you all again, and I'll hand it over to the best man.
I remember 18 months ago proposing to Tina, hoping for a long-term engagement. Within 2 weeks, Tina had booked the venue to watch.
Blaming it on me.
But Tina can't take all the credit for organising the wedding. I remember on at least 2 occasions having to press pause on the Xbox. On a more serious note, I would like to say how beautiful my wife looks today, and I'm looking forward to a happy future together.
After that one.
I met like a daft lad all the time, but one thing I'm serious about is love for you.
Oh.
So if we could all raise a toast to my beautiful wife, to Mrs. J's.
To Mrs.
J's.
Anyway, I've told Nick and Liam today that they're both on trial, as if they do a good enough job today, they're going to be my best man at my next wedding.
Cross that out of our speech now.
I can imagine that Nick and Liam are now getting impatient about making their speech. Many people don't know this, but Nick and Liam both suffer from a rare medical condition which causes them to invent fictional stories, in other words, bullshit. They really do believe these stories to be true, and I thank you all for humouring them during the speech.
I can smell something. Bullshit.
Let's get the speech.
Bullshit. You ready, yeah? This speech.
Just go with seat.
Bread, milk, eggs. Nick, that's your big shot, isn't it? That's not the speech.
Sorry.
When your club car points, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like chuckle vision, isn't it?
There we go. Right. I'd like to start. Sorry. Right, okay. I'd like to start the speech by raising our glasses once again to the newlyweds, Niall and Tina.
Nice.
Right. So when we were writing the speech, I wanted some inspiration, so I looked towards the internet. And we was on the internet for hours, we found some terrific stuff, didn't we? But then we realised we need to be looking at speech sort of writing, you know what I mean? Cheers, Sal. Right, before coming up here, now because we were really nervous, so he took us to one side and he says, this has already been said once, but I haven't rubbed it out and I didn't look. Anyway, if we do a good job at this wedding,
We'll get to go the next.
yeah, someone's been listening.
According to tradition, we're supposed to sing the groom's praises and his many good points. If we can't sing, then we ain't gonna lie. We was a bit reluctant to give the speech, having been kicked out of Niall's football team after the first game. In his words saying, we need better men. His words, not ours. Me and Niall have always been a bit competitive. Like the time we was on a foot race down to Edna's for a 10p mix. I won, but the post did pay a good part, which I pushed him in.
That was a sending to bed.
Yeah.
One of the duties of the best man is to give Niall the most uncomfortable couple of minutes of his life, which I'm sure Niall will be giving Tina very shortly. After being given the role of best men, we shortly discovered that we don't like the title best men, best man. Because if we're the best men, then why is Tina marrying Niall?
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
I think marriage will teach Niall some good skills like loyalty, self-restraint and control, which you married men will all know about. But I believe these are qualities that he wouldn't have needed if he'd have stayed single.
It's been a very emotional day. Even the cake's in tears. The hours to steal that one. Just like to say to Niall, sorry, you're a very lucky groom. You've married Tina who is beautiful, smart, caring and very thoughtful. She deserves a good husband.
She does.
So thank God she married you before she found him. Before this morning, Niall showed me the rings, and I was like, wow, that's some nice rings. I said, are they real? He says, I hope so, so go straight back to our boss.
Right, this is a big end.
Brace yourselves.
Yeah. When me and Niall were younger, we used to get into a lot of trouble. Yeah? Like the time we filled Uncle Steve's work boots up. They were garden hose. We waited for him to drain it and we filled them up again. Yeah, where am I? Sorry. There's a lot there though, isn't there? That's unfair. There's no spaces. No thanks.
I had to lock them in the bathroom.
Or like the time we stole Uncle Steve's bedding and put it on the climbing frame outside. He bought it in. We took it back out again. Or like the time we filled his bed with grass and mud, he took it out, we put it back in again. That went on for hours there, hours. I remember we also used to tie all the doors together in the house, all the door handles, so you couldn't get anywhere in the house. So if you went in a room, you were stuck there. Alright, we ruined the garden with our football and cricket matches.
A couple of greenhouses as well.
Couple of greenhouses. Let me get that in. But we did look after one thing, which was the pool table we had in our bedroom. And one time, Niall had a tricky corner shop with a wardrobe in the way. But to play the shop, it was like this, because the walls were a bit tight. So what you have to do is, can I borrow you in a minute, Nick?
Of course, yeah.
What you have to do is, you have to open the wardrobes, and then you have to slip your arm into an overcoat to play the shop. Something like that, yeah.
Months ago, Niall told me that he wanted to get in shape for the honeymoon. Turns out that shape was a circle.
Sorry.
I know Niall was looking forward to going abroad, with it only being his second time going abroad in the sun, unlike Tina, who's been away more times than David Attenborough. Niall told me that he might take up a bit of golfing when he goes to Tunisia, but I remember his last golf at Centre Parks, where he started playing golf and ended up swimming. Or at the time at Mablethorpe, on the 17th hole.
Or was it number 2?
No, 16.
Either way, he shit himself.
All jokes aside, I'm delighted to have Tina as a sister-in-law. Because I've... Hang on, sorry. Because I think I'm sure you all agree, she is the most kindest, most generous person I've ever met. And I'm sure she's helped most people in this room at one point or another. That's a clap, come on.
Best friend was supposed to offer an insight into marriage, but with neither of us being married, we don't really feel confident to give him that advice. But one thing I will say is, if Niall turns out to be half as loyal and supportive a husband than he has been a brother, you can look forward to a long and happy marriage.
Aww.